Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I'm your host, John Herold, and quite frankly, I'm disgusted. The news is so boring today, so slow. The last couple days, it's been like, do something interesting. I want to talk about something interesting. I don't want to talk about measuring cups anymore. I want to talk about criminal referrals for lying to Congress. I want to talk about some interesting shit, but there's not that much interesting shit going on. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to make boring stuff interesting. That's normally not my forte, but I'm going to do what I can. No promises. Probably going to engage with the chat as much as I can today again. We'll see what happens. I don't know if this show is going to even last 20 minutes. It'll probably last longer than that. I'll make sure it lasts at least 21 minutes just for you guys. But yeah, it's just a weird news day. There's stuff happening, but it's nothing is really getting me all hot and bothered. And that's what I'm looking for. And I know that's what you guys are looking for too. But anyway, I did try poking it with the sharp stick, Bunny, and it didn't work. It didn't work. There's no like crazy stuff on the war front. There's no really super interesting Trump comms. The government is still shut down. Our pets' heads aren't falling off. I'd prefer they would be because it'd be more interesting. But whatever. We'll see what happens. I usually say like, oh yeah, I'm probably not going to get the whole time this show, and then it ends up going the whole time. So, but before we do any of that, we got to get a quick word from a few of our sponsors, and we're going to start it off with some Benson honey farms. And before I even play the ad, I just want to say, Mo Benson is still in California, still in the hospital, and she has been going through it. She has had some like multiple surgeries. She was barely hanging on for a little bit. So please continue to keep her and her family in your prayers. Mo has been just a fantastic supporter of ours from day one. And we have her as a sponsor tonight. And she's like away from her farm. She's been away from her farm for months now. And so I'm not even sure who's doing their honey side of the business, just to be totally frank with you guys. But I mean, somebody's doing it, obviously. But still, it's just keep her in our prayers, her and her family, and support our sponsors. It's a great way to support us, but also these are real people, America First people, good people, and they deserve your support as well. Benson Honey Farms, back in the fold. Welcome to Benson Honey Farms, where every jar is pure gold. They're excited to be back on Badlands Media with their latest 2025 honey harvest straight from their farm in Nebraska. While they've been busy working to improve our state politics from the ground up, they never forgot the importance of sharing the best honey around. Did you know why honey isn't just a sweet treat? It's nature's medicine, perfect for alleviating allergies, soothing upset stomachs, or as a delicious natural sweetener for baking. Benson honey is never heated, ensuring you receive it in its pure, raw form, full of natural goodness. At Benson Honey Farms, quality and purity are our top priority. They're committed to providing the finest honey straight from our hive to your home. Join the supportive community and enjoy a special offer. Visit badlandsmedia.tv/honey and use promo code Badlands for 15% off your purchase. That's Benson Honey Farms. Savor the authentic taste of Nebraska and support America First businesses. Follow them on Facebook at Benson Honey Farms. Oh, nice. We got Escape the Matrix in the chat. Says New Jersey and New York Badlanders. They're having a meetup Saturday from Saturday 11/8. That's November 8th, 1 p.m. at Strawberries Pub and Pizza in Woodbridge, New Jersey. RSVP to Escape the Matrix 1991 at gmail.com or Escape the Matrix 91 on Telegram. Gotta ask, is that your birthday? 91? Are you younger than me? That's pretty cool. Like seeing the young folks. Oh, and we got a $100 rant from JD Brem. Wow. saying, hey, you're here. Thank you guys for the support. Callsign Cujo points out that Benson Honey Farms barbecue sauce is the bomb, and I agree with that. There was a time where I accidentally broke a bottle in my office, like it dropped on the floor, or I don't know how it even happened, but it fell, it shattered, and my office smelled like honey barbecue for probably a month, and I couldn't even be upset about it because it smelled so good. I'd come in here craving wings every time I worked. For a while there, every time I would work, I would want wings. Some Pavlov's dog stuff going on. Jackie, also younger than me. Few and far between. Yes, there were ants that accompanied that, but that was not Benson's fault. That was my fault. I probably didn't clean it thoroughly enough or quick enough. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm trying to think back. Anyway, we also got a quick promo from ourselves, Badlands Shop. If you haven't yet, get some gear. When your favorite Badlands show wraps up without a raid, visit the Badlands website to explore our incredible sponsors. From products featured on the show to kickstarting your shopping list, the Badlands Shop has you covered. Every purchase you make is a powerful vote for the future you believe in. We make it easy to shop America First, supporting Badlands creators and patriot small businesses that champion freedom. You're not just buying a product, you're feeling a movement with every dollar spent. Thank you for supporting businesses that support Badlands Media. Head over to badlandsmedia.tv and click shop from the menu, or go directly to badlandsmedia.tv/shop. Yeah, so this is what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to start clicking on my tabs, going through. I'll keep checking on you guys. If you guys have a story that you think is going to get my jimmies rustled, you think it's interesting, you post it in the chat, you let me know, and I'll talk about it. But like I said before, it's just a boring news day, and that's not my fault. It's not my fault. No update on the Doge website. Actually just one update on the presidential website. We got some new nominations to the Senate. I mean, we could read through every one of these. That's how slow of a news day it is. But just a quick cursory glance, there is nothing really sticking out. They withdrew a few as well, a couple Florida people. Yeah, Undersecretary of Defense. That is, I guess, not really that interesting. People get withdrawn all the time. William Crane, I feel like that sounds familiar. I don't know why. People retired, term expired. Yeah, I really don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'm not going to. As I said before, the shutdown continues. We're approaching 22 days shutdown, and everybody's saying there's no end in sight. And I'm okay with that. Here's a clip I'm going to play, and we're going to talk about this in the Power Hour tonight as well, but take a listen.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have. I mean, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
So I let that play twice because, well, mainly to just fill another 20 seconds. But what she said here is pretty revealing, I would say. Like, she's acknowledged, this is the House, I think it's the House Democratic, what is she again? Number 2 House Democrat on the shutdown. Of course, people are going to suffer. Like, she's acknowledging the suffering of people, even though I don't know if I buy that. Although there probably are some government employees not getting a paycheck. They're probably suffering. The rest of us, by and large, the people who don't get paychecks from tax dollars, we're fine. But she's saying they're doing it. It's like, this is the only leverage we have. And so when you're acknowledging that basically you're the reason for the shutdown, you are not in a good political position. And now this means that they are doing this, and we already knew it, but they're doing this because they think if they can somehow make people suffer enough while Trump is in charge and while the Republicans supposedly control, the government, that this can be pinned on Trump. And maybe that'll help them win the midterms or something like that. But when you acknowledge that it's one of the leverage things that you have, you gave the whole game away. You can't even get away with it now. These people aren't just sick, as rapid response says. They're so stupid. They're so stupid. And there's one guy, let me see if I can find this. Some senator, Democratic senator, Jeff Merkley. I'm going to call him Jeff Malarkey. He apparently gave a 12-hour speech on the Senate floor, a marathon overnight speech. Like, who would, I just cannot imagine. I'm sure like somebody like a Burning Bright, maybe a Zach Payne could get up and just talk for 12 hours.
Okay, to weaponize the Department of Justice to go after.
But that in no way interests me. I could think of a bajillion different things that I would rather be doing than speaking for 12 hours straight on any topic. It's insanity. I guess I have done a few live streams where, all day coverage, but that's different. Like you're engaging with other people, you're doing interviews, you're watching videos, like all these things. Like this, you're just getting up there and talking about the same thing. And it's all a lie anyway. It's all about Trump and how he's a threat to democracy. Give me a break. But we'll listen to a little bit to fill some time.
After perceived political opponents, James Comey, Letitia James, Adam Schiff, a member of the Senate. Hell no. Absolutely not. We have a theory of justice here in our nation that is symbolized by those words above the pillars of the Supreme Court. It's carved into the facade. You walk out these doors to the right, you keep going, you're standing on the steps that lead up to the Senate, you're staring straight out at the front of the Supreme Court. And there, carved above those pillars, it says, equal justice under law. Equal justice under law. That's the vision here in America. Not unequal injustice, which is what the president is pursuing by taking the power of the government and going after individuals that he does not like or perceives to be political opponents.
Do these people just have zero self-awareness? Like, is that what it is? I always wonder, because you can argue that, okay, maybe these people are actually in on it, and so that's why they're taking the opposing stance and just totally lying about what's actually going on. You could say they're getting their talking points. Maybe somebody's just, whoever's their handlers are paying them, they're the ones forcing them to say things. Both of those could be valid. But part of me wondered, like, there's got to be a few that believe this shit. Like, they're genuine. And I just always wonder, like, does this guy really think that Trump is going after his political opponents and he's like upset about it after what Trump went through while he was away from office and Biden was in there, and after what Trump went through in his first term with the spying in his campaign, all the Rushgate stuff, the Spygate stuff, the impeachment, the actual political persecution, when Trump has never actually did anything justifying any of it. Like, are these guys just dense, controlled, or I don't know. Maybe those are the only two options. Dense, controlled, or in on it. Retarded, controlled, or in on it. Those are the options. Spetzel, slow day. So Bernie Sanders supporting candidate with Nazi SS tattoo. Is that real? John, they're not lying. They're merely coming at it from a different perspective. Yeah, but I mean, you come at it from a different perspective, it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it the truth. Mein Kampf. Ooh, that's a funny headline. Bernie Sanders stands behind Senate candidate with SS tattoo. I'm not a secret Nazi. Oh. Wow. I mean, if we had legitimate elections, none of this shit would matter, because the people wouldn't elect somebody like this anyway. But I do love the headline here. Thank you for sharing that. Gator Rob. Oh, John, but Trump is a Nazi, don't you know? But does he have a SS tattoo? I doubt it. Do you think Trump has any tattoos? I know they say he doesn't. Tim Pool just reported on this guy as well. Anyway, let's see what else I got. Oh, we didn't finish. We didn't finish listening to what's his name. Oh, I guess I accidentally X'd out of it anyway. So never mind. Oh no, never. I found it. We have 44 seconds left.
That's what you read about in authoritarian governments far away. And you go, that would never happen in the United States of America. But it is happening right here, right now, unequal injustice. This is an extraordinarily dangerous moment. An authoritarian president proceeding to attack free speech, attack free press, weaponize the Department of Justice, and use it against those who disagree with him. And then seeking the court's permission to send the military into our cities to attack people who are peacefully protesting.
Ridiculous. They're very ignorant. You're right, Gator Rob. And that's putting it nicely. I mean, what these people did to people who went and protested on J6, not only just like the false flag aspect that they're probably behind, but what they did to the innocent people that were there, terrible. What they've done to Trump when Trump was going through stuff at court and they were all celebrating, like the judge putting a gag order on him, like all these, you could go on and on and on. These people are insanity. But the good thing is nobody watches this stuff. Nobody's going to sit down and be like, oh my gosh, yes, Jeff Malarkey's about to speak for 12 hours straight. I cannot wait to watch this. I'm going to be hanging on everywhere. The only people watching are probably us just now. That's probably the most anybody's watched any of his speech other than this guy, who the only reason I can justify him staying there the whole time is he's probably paralyzed from the waist down and just can't get out of that chair or something. Because why else would you sit there for 12 hours? Insanity. Let's see what else I got for you. The Pentagon centralizes all congressional communications under a new directive. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Deputy Secretary Steve Feinberg have ordered all Defense Department personnel to route any communication with Congress or state officials through the Pentagon's Office of Legislative Affairs, requiring prior approval for meetings, reports, information requests, and correspondence. The October 15th directive marks a significant shift from previous policy, which allowed military branches, combatant commands, and other Defense Department agencies to manage their own congressional contacts through independent legislative affairs teams. The order applies to senior Pentagon leaders, service secretaries, and chiefs, combatant commanders, joint chiefs of staff, and defense agency directors. It excludes the Inspector General's office and preserves existing authorities for the Pentagon's Comptroller and General Counsel. The memo also affirms that service members and employees retain whistleblower protections and the right to communicate with Congress is granted by law. Hegseth and Feinberg further directed the Assistant Secretary of Legislative Affairs to conduct a 90-day review of Pentagon's congressional engagement process to identify inefficiencies and propose reforms. So this is actually kind of a biggie because, to me, they must have stumbled across or uncovered, I don't even know, whatever. They figured out that people are leaking from the Pentagon to the press, and some of it's taking place through Congress. If you look back at what they did with the media, the 30 or that new policy they have where they had 30 news agencies not sign on to it and one news agency who did, OAN. Part of the reason for that, in my opinion, was the one little section where it was like, if you knowingly try to get somebody from the Defense Department to give you information that you're not allowed to have, that is a crime. And we are going to be pursuing that. You're not allowed to do that. Like, they were trying to stomp out leakers. And now this, establishing one dedicated communication control to Congress, and I'm thinking like Adam Schiff, those types, they're doing this to stamp out leakers as well. Anybody who goes around that, bypasses that, who isn't a whistleblower, sounds like they could get in trouble. So this is kind of notable. See, today wasn't a total bust. Now I feel accomplished. What else we got? We talked about this yesterday. House Judiciary Committee refers John Brennan to DOJ for possible perjury charge. Feels like a half measure. Yeah, what a interesting looking fellow. Are his ears abnormally lower? No, I guess mine are about that low. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, so he's been referred. We'll see if they actually follow up. I bet they will. Did Comey's? I don't remember. Did Comey's come from a referral from Congress? I don't remember who referred him. This is interesting. This is just in from CNBC. Trump says U.S. cattle ranchers don't understand tariffs after some slam Argentine beef plan. President Trump said Wednesday that U.S. cattle ranchers don't understand how they have benefited from his tariffs, adding that they have to get the prices down. The admonition came after some ranchers have openly criticized Trump's proposal to import beef from Argentina in order to bring down prices for American consumers. Trump claimed that those ranchers don't understand that the only reason they are doing so well for the first time in decades is because I put tariffs on cattle coming into the United States. He highlighted the 50% tariff he imposed in early August on imports from Brazil, one of the top sellers of beef to the U.S. If it weren't for me, they would be doing just as they've done for the past 20 years. Terrible, Trump wrote in a True Social post. Well, hey, we got a new True Social post. That's good news. Because I had said earlier that, oh man, he's been busy. Last time I checked, there was like nothing out here. And we have 3 of them. Awesome. The cattle ranchers who I love don't understand that the only reason they are doing so well for the first time in decades is because I put tariffs on cattle coming into the United States, including a 50% tariff from Brazil. It would be nice if they would understand that, but they also have to get the price down because the consumer is a very big factor in my thinking. I want Argentine beef, says Ramon 2020 or 222. I want American beef. Oh man, is Ty and Miss Bright talking about GART cruise? We're not doing a GART cruise. Not doing it. Not happening. The bunny with a Rumble rant says, interested in a DC cherry blossom meetup weekend of March 28th? Contact me on Telegram if you are, so I can gauge interest and get to planning. We may be doing a GART conference around that time, the bunny. So I would make sure before you set anything in stone. Yeah, we'll chat. Donald J. Trump, in addition to everything else, tariffs on other countries saved our cattle ranchers. Look at that. I wonder if there's something coming, because I haven't heard any ranchers complaining. Not that I talk to ranchers on a regular basis, but even on social media, I feel like that's a media-driven narrative. So it's interesting he's actually responding to it, and I wonder what he's going to do to fix the whole problem that he needed to create some sort of crisis around in the first place. You know what I mean? Mary Barra of General Motors and Bill Ford of Ford Motor Company just called to thank me for putting tariffs on midsize and large-size trucks. Their stock has gone through the roof. They told me that without tariffs, it would be a very hard, long slog for truck and car manufacturers in the United States. I told them it's very simple. This is a national security matter. With the tariffs, we have a strong and powerful economy and country. Without them, we have the exact opposite. I do love that he has made the economy a national security issue, which it should have been the whole time. But it is just kind of funny to think that they're talking about trucks and cars. It's like importing foreign midsize trucks is a national security issue. Just funny to think about. Why is Cash being an ass about CK? I don't know if I've seen what you're talking about. Davil 1975, you want HGH and steroids in your beef? No. Tommy's Russell. John's last couple days, I want my sprinklers blown out and I want American beef. Those two things are not related. I just want to support America First companies, man. If I'm going to eat beef, I want it to be hearty American beef. And who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want that? And then, yeah, you got to get your pipes blown out for winter. Don't want any shenanigans to ensue in the spring because of it. Did John just tease when the next GART could be? It's going to be the spring, man. I didn't tease anything, though, because I'm not 100% sure. Beef is way expensive right now. I know. We should, when I say we, I mean me, is figure out a way to raise my own cattle, my own cow in the backyard. I would never get away with it. Well, my neighbors are pretty. Oh, funniest story ever. This will kill some time. So my kids, they play in the backyard, and like the complete opposite backyard to us is another family, all boys. They just had their like fourth boy. But the two oldest boys, 6 and 4, I think, they come over and play all the time. And the little 4-year-old is just, I don't know how to describe him. The best way to describe him actually is the way my girlfriend describes him. He's feral. Like, they're great kids, super cute. They're funny, but feral. That is a good word. Like, he will just literally open the patio door, come inside, grab our food, and go out. Like, the other day, my daughter was eating out of like some goldfish. He just came in and like stuck his hand in the goldfish thing, grabbed a handful, walked out. Okay. And he's just rambunctious. They're tough little kids. 2 days ago, my son was on the trampoline. They were all playing on the trampoline. And my son comes in and he's like kind of teary-eyed a little bit. And he's like, so-and-so punched me. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. Like, you're a kid. Like, you'll be fine. Go back out there. Go play. And he does. He comes back in a little bit later and he's like, he's super mad. He said he's going to go home and get a blowtorch and set me on fire and burn our trampoline down. It's like, okay, yeah, like that's going to happen. And so I was like, just go back outside and play. And then all of a sudden, I'm down in my office working on a couple things, and I hear my girlfriend yelling like, John, get out of here. And I come upstairs, and the little 4-year-old is walking into our backyard with a blowtorch in his hand. Like, I don't know where he got it or how he had access to it, but he's like walking in with a blowtorch. And so, I just went out there. I was like, yeah, you two kids go home. And I brought my kids inside. And then a couple hours, I told the older brother, I was like, hey, go tell your mom and dad what he just did. And I got a text a little bit later from the dad. It's like, hey, did so-and-so bring a blowtorch over? It's really funny. It was really funny. And then the next day, which was yesterday, he threatened my son with a hammer. So he's just like going through the tool cabinet. But he'll learn. He couldn't come over anymore after that. But it was really funny. He like literally came with a blowtorch after, like, there's no way this kid will get access to a blowtorch. Why does John hate kids? Yeah, that kid, I can respect the kid for saying what he means. He says what he means what he says. But it was just super funny just seeing this like little 4-year-old walking into the backyard with a blowtorch, like trying to mess with it. Because when my son's like, yeah, he's bringing a blowtorch, or he says he's gonna give me the blowtorch, it's like, okay, yeah, like that'll happen. FN Wilson 92, John, that's not funny. That's the start of a serial killer, bro. He needs to get his head exam. Yeah. Again, he's a young kid. As far as I know, he hasn't harmed or attempted to harm any animals. Boys will be boys. That's what I said to the dad. But I will definitely keep an eye on the behavior, and see what happens. Simple Sam 1777. John, go ahead and defend Trump's demand for $230 million. That's waste, fraud, and abuse. Yeah, I do have that story here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Trump says he could be seeking $230 million from his own Justice Department. President Donald Trump said Tuesday that he could be seeking $230 million from his own Justice Department as compensation for past investigations into him, though he professed to have little knowledge of the specifics and said he would give the money to charity. It could be, Trump responded when asked by CNN's Caitlin Collins. No, we have a video. Let's play it.
President Trump tonight demanding his DOJ pay him $230 million to compensate for the federal investigations into him. This new reporting coming from the New York Times. Here's what Trump said.
I'd give it to charity or something. I would give it to charity, any money. But look, what they did, they rigged the election. Now, with the country, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right? And, that decision would have to go across my desk. And it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself.
Ty Cobb is out front now, former Trump White House lawyer. So, Ty, just, in that soundbite, Trump really does cut to the chase and is sort of very way that's consistent with Trump. He's saying the decision to pay him $250 million would, from his own DOJ, would come across his desk. So he's saying it's his choice, essentially, to pay himself.
Yeah, I don't think he has any difficulty doing that. He took a $400 million plane from Qatar. He's got.
Yeah, I can't listen to Mustache Boy here, but I don't know. This is an interesting one because if Trump was still a private citizen and he, sued the government and was found that, the government did wrong him and was set to pay him money, would we be upset about that? Would we be upset about a private citizen taking money from the DOJ or the government for being wronged by the government, for the weaponization of government? I don't know. I mean, if Joe Biden was in office and this happened and Trump won, I'd be like, oh, that's good for him. But it's a little bit different of a situation. I do not believe, I don't like our tax dollars or any of that shit. I don't like I don't like our tax dollars being paid on anything. It is wasteful, fraudulent, and abusive. I don't know. The fact that it happened in the first place is the real problem. Does he get any form of monetary justice from it? I would care less about the $230 million. I'd rather see some form of return of the diamonds, right? Exposure, some way to fix our election system. I don't know. I don't love it. I don't hate it either. I'm gonna have to chew on that one a little bit because I understand the point. Totally understand the point. But it depends what he does with it. And I get the point, you have to sue. He is suing. He has been suing. And if he's found, if the government is found liable for what they did to Trump, and the court system's yeah, you owe him money for it, what is he supposed to do in that situation? It's not his fault the government went after him. But yeah, I get both sides. I want him to get the justice and accountability, but I don't want my tax dollars to be funding it. I mean, honestly, that is an issue we should figure out a better way for, because if the government, of by and for the people, right? We pay for the government, but then the government goes and does stupid stuff like this, go after Trump. Why are we on the hook for it at all? It should be the people that participated, and it should be their personal wealth and their personal assets that get used to pay off stuff like this. It shouldn't be on taxpayer dime. Same thing with Congress. When Congress, they have a slush fund for, keeping quiet all the wrongdoings they have or whatever that is. I don't remember the details, but it exists. It's a real slush fund. Anytime they get in trouble with the law, or it pays out. That's taxpayer dollars paying for the cover-up of congressional crimes. It shouldn't be that way. It should be, they should have personal liability. Government employees should have personal liability for their crimes, even when acting on behalf of the government. The government should not have to pay out tax dollars to do that stuff. So that's where I'm at with it. It just took me a second to get there and figure out what I wanted, what I felt. The individuals that pushed, man, what is it about my neighbor's dogs are peeing on the front tree? At least they're with their owner this time. I feel like every time a dog walks by, they all pee on that tree. It's the pissing tree. I'm gonna have to go mark my territory out there so they stop doing it. That's why all the grass around that thing never grows. Anyway, John, if you want accountability from your government, you're in the wrong business. What business would I need to be in to get accountability from the government? There is no business. It's a different dog, Cece. They're trying to cover each other's sense. Yeah. It's going to kill the tree. It's a pretty big tree. I don't know. It's just annoying. You don't see me going to my neighbor's house and peeing on their tree. The female tree. Who doesn't love to be outside? My son used to do that all the time. Just after the bathroom, you just go pee in the backyard in the garden. Okay, let's keep going. See, look at this. I'm already at 35 minutes in, and I feel like I've gotten through like 2 things. I knew I'd be fine. I knew it. Where are we at? Is there anything in the stock market today? I guess Meta's laid off 600 employees within the AI unit. Didn't just yesterday, I think it was, we covered Amazon is laying off like 600,000 employees and being replacing them with robots and AI. A lot of firing going on. Russia was smug about Trump-Putin talks. Now they're on hold. Moscow is anxious. President Trump said Tuesday that he didn't want to have a wasted meeting with Russia President Putin. Let's see. Let's just read through some of this. This is interesting. We'll probably talk about this tonight when we do the 400th episode of the Devolution Power Hour. Me, Bernie Brett, and Chris Paul. And I do know technically, I think Spetzel pointed this out yesterday. Technically, there's like 413 videos in the like playlist for the DPH. So it probably isn't actually the 400th episode, but it's close. And I know when I first started keeping, like I didn't used to number them. And when I first started numbering them, I was like, I just started at 50, even though I was at more than 50. I was like, episode 50, let's just do it from here. 50, 51, 52. I didn't want to go back and count. They didn't used to have the playlist feature like we have on Rumble. So it would have been really difficult to like go back and figure that all out. I mean, not that difficult, but it was difficult enough for me to not want to spend 5 minutes doing it. That's how difficult it was. But we've been doing it in order since 50, and this is the 400th episode tonight. So me, Bernie Brett, and Chris Paul are all going to be on. Likely shenanigans. Should be fun, though. Anyway, let's talk about the story, which we'll also probably talk about tonight. Russia scrambled on Wednesday to salvage the prospect of in-person talks between U.S. President Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin after they were unceremoniously put on hold. How do you ceremoniously put something on hold? You know what I mean? Like they're saying they were unceremoniously put on hold. Is there a certain ceremony that you have to put things on hold where it's like respectable? Like what is the difference? You just put something on hold. Why does there need to be ceremony around it? Trump said on Tuesday that he didn't want to have a wasted meeting with Putin, which was set to take place in Hungary in the next few weeks, as it became clear that Russia opposes the idea of an immediate ceasefire with Ukraine. I don't want to have a waste of time, so we'll see what happens, Trump said, following a call on Monday between U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. After the call, Russia's top diplomat told reporters in Moscow that he had told Rubio that Russia has not changed its position since Trump and Putin met in Alaska in August, and that while Moscow wanted a lasting and sustainable peace, it was not interested in an immediate ceasefire that will lead to nothing. After those comments, and with Trump seemingly pouring cold water on the idea of meeting Putin again, I don't know why I'm being a stickler with these phrases, but is that supposed to like what? Do you pour warm water on something? On a comment? Is that a thing people do? CNBC? You idiots. After those comments, with Trump seemingly pouring cold water on the idea of meeting Putin again, the Kremlin appeared to go into damage limitation mode, insisting on Wednesday that the dates for the summit in Budapest weren't set, but that preparations were still underway. This is yet to be done. Careful preparation is needed before then. Time is needed for that, Peskov said. Anyway, so another new U-turn. Take a nap, John. BB and Chris together, going to be a late one. I love them, but those boys can talk. Yeah, I said that myself. I was like, I'm just going to try to get a word in, see what happens. Maybe play some old videos, like some of the OG Badlands ones. I listened to a couple this morning. Pretty rough. Pretty rough. Jep863, how can you put something on hold that was not officially scheduled anyway? It's a great question. Still on hold. Try Patriot 505. I'm getting advice now on how to keep the dogs away. Try wolf urine. My sis uses it to keep coyotes out of her backyard in Tacoma, Washington. They like eating cats and small pets. It works. All right. Keep that in mind. Buck Wayne. CNBC verbiage includes inspiration from their bowel movements. They all talk shit. Tommy's Russell. What happens if you go into a cold pool? What happens when you go into a warm one? It's a good question. And it's a personal question. I'm not going to divulge that. Texas identifies over 2,000 potential non-citizens who are registered to vote in SAVE database. I feel like these are such small numbers. It's like they want us to think that they're addressing voter fraud, but like the amount they're finding is not, it's like fitting the story that they like to tell us, the mainstream media likes to tell us, where, you know, of course voter fraud exists, but it's not enough to change the outcome of an election. See, like we're finding voter fraud, we're tackling voter fraud, but we just found 2,000 potential non-citizens registered to vote. Not even that they voted. I don't know. I feel like this is some form of false appeasement that they're giving us. Oh, what else? That might be it. Yeah. That's all I got, guys. I still got the 40 minutes. I promised 21 minutes, and I gave you 20 minutes overtime. So I'm sure you guys are all thankful for that. We do need a wolf urine affiliate if anybody knows anybody. Call sign Cujo. I use more lethal methods for yotes, raccoons, and skunks. Just saying, I would probably get in trouble if I use the methods you're referring to in my neighborhood. Can't just go on the porch with a sniper and take out the neighbor's dogs like that. Maybe I'll ask the 4-year-old in the backyard if he can bring his blowtorch over. Tell him I got a little dog's peeing in my yard problem. Let him be creative on how to handle it. Yeah, I think that's all I got, guys. I don't think there's anything immediately after this show right now. Let me double check. Nope. Jordan Say the last night did a Truth About Q live from the Old State Saloon. It was pretty darn good. I've watched a couple minutes of it. But I encourage you guys to all check it out if you haven't yet. Busy day though here on Badlands later, because we have the Shipwreck Show that goes live at 8 p.m. Eastern. Altered State is at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then the Power Hour 400th episode. That'll be with me, Burning Bright, and Chris Paul at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and then after that is Brad's Where We Go One. We go all after dark. So make sure you guys do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. I'm going to play a quick promo for Soft Disclosure and GART. Get your GART tickets if you haven't yet. They are flying off the shelf. Going to be a great time, November 6th through the 9th, Cocoa Beach, Florida. The venue's amazing. The content's going to be amazing. The community we have is amazing. And just getting face-to-face with like-minded people is so much fun. You will not regret it. If you can't make it in person, it's not too late to get your virtual ticket, and you can enjoy it from the comfort of your home. badlandsmedia.tv/events. Get to it, folks. And yeah, with that, we'll do some soft disclosure and we'll get you guys out of here. Thank you for all the support. Hit that thumbs up. I will see you tonight on the Power Hour.
Before skincare went synthetic, people used something simple, something real. Tallow. Grass-fed and finished beef tallow is packed with vitamins A, D, E, and K. Nutrients your skin actually knows what to do with. It locks in moisture, restores elasticity, and defends against winter dryness. No water, no preservatives, and no BS. Unlike plant oils or chemical creams, tallow mimics your skin's own structure. Elbows, hands, knees, post-shave, anywhere your skin's crying for real moisture. Perfect for gifting or keeping your own skin soft when the cold hits. Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code Badlands for 15% off. Ancient care, modern truth.
Soft disclosure.
0, 0.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
2, 3. Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.